So, incredibly boring when you could all have been much more sadistic, but never mind. Why use Perl 5? Yeah, you know who I am. People keep going, oh, Perl's dying. Well, to be entirely honest, I think every major tool that I really like has been declared dying at least once. My kind of opinion is if they haven't bothered yet, then it's probably not stable. People are going about, oh, Netcraft shows there's less CGI scripts and whatever. Well, yeah, okay, everybody else has X-powered by headers. We generally don't. There's actually a debate going on in Catalyst about whether to add an X-Catalyst header. Well, it's already in debug mode, but the question is whether to actually have an option to turn it on outside to try and get to actually be visible for people who don't mind having that information in there. And anybody who's already filtering headers is already filtering headers. But anyway, that's dying. The pile of crap CGI shite that we all know and hate, that's finally starting to go away. And what you've got left is a community of people who've done shitloads of development. We've actually made most of our really retarded mistakes. You know, Ruby's still having great fun with method missing, Akka autoload, Akka, what a fucking bad idea. No, but give them another 5 years, they'll learn. And you've got people in Perl who played with all sorts of other languages, and new people coming in all the time and different ideas. So I've had to adjust these slides because Barbie has better stats. These were stolen on Tim Bunce, I might have stolen them wrong. But if you look at the sort of exponential increase, there's a huge amount of information going out there. And that's from me watching through, going past and trying to approve some of the bloody things. And Perl 5 scales. It's actually pretty bloody fast for what it is. It won the Wide Finder competition with a proper Unix-style PyPC script. And it's an expressive language. People go, oh no, more than one way to do it, maintainability nightmare. Well, no, okay. Here we can say, you want, as your eye goes down the page, you see the exception first and then the condition. If what's happening is more important, then you can put that first and then have the exception tacked on to the end. And being able to make the difference in this and express your actual ideas, if you do it right, is the best thing ever to a maintenance programmer, because then the code actually expresses the intent, rather than the comment that the last idiot forgot to update. Perl 5, huge culture of testing. TAP is getting hugely well known. I was poking around for some stuff I'm working on today and discovered that as well as a Postgres TAP harness, there's an airline one.
What? Is there?
Yep. By the same guy who did text no tabs. Test no tabs. And you look at Moose. Moose basically picked the pockets of every object system it could think of and produced something absolutely spectacular. And then you look things like MooseX declare, which provides you class and method keywords, and AutoVox that allows you to treat plain references as objects. You really end up with a situation where Perl is actually possibly the most flexibly OO language out of Perl, Python and Ruby. I'm not talking about PHP, nick the Java object model. I'm sure we all know what a great plan that is. But Perl 5 is evolving, it's moving forwards in interesting ways. Devil Declare, a stupid hack of mine, has led to people reviving interest in getting keywords and signatures into the core. The C3 MRO, Python used it, it was much sane, and we nicked it. Now it's in 5.10 as a core feature, and I hope eventually it will become the default, because it's a lot saner than depth-first search. Recently released modules allow you to warn on indirect object method calls, which you almost always didn't want, and disable hash and array reference auto-vivification, which is another huge source of bugs. Schwern's Perl 5i project is trying to capture a common set of modules that give you basically a new dialect of Perl almost, a language built on top of the language that has all of this stuff rolled in so you can just assume it's there. And at YapCNA, Chip Solzenberg announced the Core Hackers project, which I'm helping out with some of the infrastructure for, because my God, my C is awful, which is looking at getting a lot of new blood into working on Perl 5 core, and to spread things out from the pumpkin so that we can have a decent amount of maintainability without doing something idiotic like giving up and trying to write a whole new language. The other thing I love about Perl 5 is it's fun. You've got this hugely strong community, the Perl conferences, the workshops, Perlmongers groups. Lightning talks are a stupidity that Perl people seem to absolutely love. It's, let's get up and make a fool of ourselves for 5 minutes. And even bits and pieces of poetry. and the Acme namespace on CPAN for completely pointless things. Except you get things like Acme Bad Example that spurred work on Perl core and have demonstrated security vulnerabilities in the pause indexer and search.cpan infrastructure. Even better, Perl is ubiquitous. It's in the Linux standards base. It's on practically every frickin' Unix under the sun. Local lib means that you don't need root to be able to install stuff. If you've got a Perl interpreter, a make and a compiler, you can probably build libraries. And Strawberry Perl is attempting to bring the same sort of joy to the poor benighted soul stuck on Win32 for anything other than gaming. So, the main reason to use Perl 5 is Unix is what I see as my idea, as my platform. Perl 5 is your virtual machine, and it supports a whole family of languages called CPAN. And the other thing about Perl 5 is we have this great culture of doing it right is good, but so is being done and down the pub, so I stop now. And let's do that.